Pirates 1 was certainly an experience, so who's up for Pirates 2? I loved that announcement when it was made clear to me, I think by one of you in the comment section of, oh, I don't remember if you said it directly or it was a hint. Either way, when the announcement broke, Pirates 2, Armada, the sequel to one of my favorite album experiences of the last year that we toured fully in 2 stages with the 5 numbers first and then the remaining 7 because I just could not give up. Thinking back on my first immersion into the Visions of Atlantis world, starting with The Deep and the Dark and a selection of pieces there, and then moving on to the present day of what was available at the time of Pirates, that is a time of my life that I will not forget about. And that's a similar sentiment that I share to many artist credits here. You know, we look at quite a broad canvas of renowned names or emerging talents within, namely, the rock and metal spheres, with some exceptions, of course, from time to time, because anybody, as far as I'm concerned, is welcome to grace our ears here, in whatever stance we have of familiarity or lack thereof. And concerning Visions of Atlantis, of the European Metal Library, which you know I love, of a symphonic power and melodic metal voice, a beautiful pairing, by the way. If you've not humored their work before, I want you to feel welcome here. As music is best enjoyed collaboratively. And Pirates, again, as I said, I will not forget about that easily. There's no way. All 12 numbers were just gorgeous masterpieces. And I've said before, if anybody's looking for, people to score any pirate movies, I think Visions of Atlantis will be well suited for such a task. Hey, Disney, if you ever reboot Pirates of the Caribbean with Johnny Depp, mind you, I'm not interested if that doesn't happen. I know, I go on tangents. If they do it, I think Visions of Atlantis is quite well suited to design the scores. I think they've proven themselves with the first album, and I'm sure that its sequel will also follow suit. And I'll give you a bit of a behind-the-scenes window as to why there's been a bit of a delay. I meant to be more on the ball with this, even though my Achilles heels, I'm not on time with anything, because I cover a wide swath of artists here. Because, there's just so many names, of talent abroad, certainly in the world, and, of recommendation, whether it be by your comments or just my own individual pursuance or what's mapped out on our list. And Visions of Atlantis has been there for some time, just even in preparation. My original plan was to use this as the reward for me wrapping up coverage of, some of you will know, Exit Eden, another favorite of mine in the symphonic metal sphere of both original, now as of Femme Fatales, the newest album, original and cover song molding. I've promised you a deep dive of that album. I just finished, in fact, editing, going on publishing the Rhapsodies in Black album. That was the first predecessor to that one. And I was going to use Visions of Atlantis as a reward. Not that Exit Eden needed a motivator, because I'm already looking forward to that one immensely with the remaining 10 songs I have to go through of Femme Fatales. But I thought it'd be kind of fun to make it at NTs, but I can't wait any longer. And I would love to be able to make or produce content by your request on a more timely fashion. And I just can't resist the urge to listen to Visions of Atlantis anymore and continue the story of what Pirates paved well. So, whether it be its orchestral form, likewise, or the original voice. And we're going to return to that original territory. I believe it was a 2022 debut when Pirates came out. I think it was 2022. Again, I came on the ball a bit late. But by your recommendation, and as I've acknowledged the Visions of Atlantis, thank you to every one of you that made them a recommended name. Again, I feel honored to be in the space that I am, engaging with so many different talents on a first-name basis, in mutual graces to all of you, and to carry on your interest and curiosity, and being able to reward your interest of opportunities that we get to venture down a favorite landscape of the artistic world for me. With music, it's just been a ready first love in my life, to the credit of so many names. Visions of Atlantis, frequent replay for me. That, by the way, beyond... this will also fit some of your recommendations, in particular for a number of you. And my own interest. We're going beyond Pirates in the short term. You're going to be seeing... Okay, I'll also tell you in preparation, Pirates 2. We will be humoring the album in full. How could I not do that if I went down the adventure fully with Pirates Chapter 1? Why not the sequel? We're, of course, going to do that whenever the album really is fully realized. I think it's this July. But in the short term, I'm also preparing to take a more extensive dive into Visions of Atlantis, time permitting. But it is on my list, and it's promised to you. I've already put some steps in preparation that we will get to do that soon. Anywho, Pirates 2, Armada. The title number, I believe, track 5 on the record. Yes, of the 2 out so far to this point. Let's welcome it. Its sequel. Pirates 1, just a beauty. Pirates 2, here we go. I'm already hearing the tone of the original album. That same brilliance of pirate score. Rapid power tone or power metal. More on the aggressive side of symphonic. Beautiful so far. Speaking of this being a sequel, I'm getting Master of the Hurricane vibes. Like this is a continuation. The enhancement on the instrumental roughness there is a great choice, blended with Clementine's beautiful vocals. Explicitly pirates. They're just ready for a film score. Maybe even in directing, speaking of the color tones. Holistically, this is a perfect experience. I love the molding of this chorus section. Equal grace and metal proficiency. It's just true symphonic metal. I love seeing the more expansive concept push. Speaking of the visualizer respect, the score's really getting me. I've seen this in the American sphere, but Napalm Records really goes out there with some of their artists in particular, and to see them be so faithful of executing a pirate vision well conceptually on vision is great. Again, we're ready for a mini Pirates movie at this point. Fantastic idea to continue where we're going. Cut the expected transition, just jump back in immediately. Love that. You know, I didn't mention this previously of any installments on the chapter we took of Discovery Through Pirates, but in my history, not that I was ever big into acting, I've never been. I was an 18-year dancer. That was such a beautiful season of my life, too, in dance classes, performances. Man, I miss that chapter. I look back on it fondly. What I was going to say is, amidst that time, dance was always my thing. Theater, not as much. But 3 of the years that I was in dance classes was when I was 9 to 11, I believe. No? 9 to... Was I... Yeah, I was 9. 9 to 11 years old. Each of those summers within that 3-year window, I was a part of a summertime kids program. It was in the local community that the theater... it was in Hoquiam, Washington, very well known, the 7th Street Theater. big program, at least in that. I mean, I don't know how maybe well known it is outside of the Aberdeen Hoquiam community. They're kind of sister cities. I grew up in Aberdeen, but during the summertime months, that 50 kids, usually or maybe 50 or around that, would be enrolled or accepted for the audition process, and they'd spend about 2 months preparing different theatrical plays, usually kid-oriented with some variation from time to time. The first year that I was enrolled in the program, we did Treasure Island. So when I watched this concept, and plus, part of the okay, we'll speak of the number in a minute, but I do find it to be quite a mesmerizing experience on visualizer grounds. And again, out of the, as I was saying, to better articulate maybe a comparison here, I love seeing Napalm Records reach out. Again, the identity of us being pirates, stick to that, beautifully imagined by the visualizer. It's not the first time we've seen, again, such a devotion to more wide-reaching visions. Pun intended. Just a fitting word. I'm thinking of, again, by comparison, the American Sphere. More CGI-heavy presentations that, again, are very faithful to depicting a certain concept, whatever that is, and maybe how grounded or wild it can be. I see a comparison between music markets. It's really interesting, again, when I look at the visualizer's respect and see productions that are quite out there. But ones that nip, I think, at a desire to see more of an elaboration on. If Napalm Records ever decided to do a film production, Pirates related, maybe credited to Visions of Atlantis, I would absolutely second it. I'd be there. Ticket in hand. Debut showing. I'd love to watch it. Because I see this experience, every inch of it, every gesture of what's on screen, the scenery, the loose story, the idea of the Armada, and the relatability too, I said of Pirates, I didn't say this, I've mentioned it before of Pirates, the grounded aspect to it, and that it is very much a concept superficially, but there is still such a relatability in the lyrics. We're really going to see that too with the next installment, Monster. I cannot wait to dig into that number. Or Monsters, if it's in the singular or plural form at the moment. Anywho, Armada. And I did read, in the background of, I previewed this with the music videos posting, though I stayed away from the song so that we could welcome it together on a first-time basis. And I'll get back to my original point. I'm still going to go on tangents. Anywho, as I was saying with Armada, I got a good sense of the background of the song based on Napalm Records' declaration and band intention. And I still see that relatability of what is communicated in the sense of conquering shadows and sea monsters out there, in a sense. If you want to call it that, in a figurative manner. And that relatability of life as we sort out chaos, perhaps to greater destinations or shores, as maybe, in isolation or as an armada together. As sailors, as I understand, we're called. Visions of Atlantis fans, and it is an honor to be amongst you. I love being in the space that I am. Anyway, that relatability, I still see the spirit of beautifully embodied by Pirates too. So we are in for something special. And score-wise, well, again, I'll get into that in a minute because I want to sum up what I was originally saying. I see the pirate concept here. Visually speaking, they're ready for a film production. The color tones, the scenery, the color contrast specifically. The minute what shot was it? It was later. I know it's a simple remark, but really anything in. I'm no expert on ship locations, but at least in the captain's quarters, I think that's the way to term it. The color tones in that scenery alone, and the contrast between the costume choices with the positioning of the figures alongside the background, different items and the subjects of what's in view, namely the image of I think it's the wine hitting the map. That is just gorgeous. Again, I love pirate films, and I could easily see Visions of Atlantis creating something quite special along those lines. I don't know, maybe it's a big ask, but I'm like, it would be kind of cool to watch. Certainly, I think if anybody wants to employ them or utilize their services for scoring, Disney. I mean, wouldn't Visions of Atlantis make a great Pirates of the Caribbean fit? I totally think they would. I mean, Pirates 1 spoke to this, and it seems Pirates 2 will be the continuation. Anyway, it's fantastic. I love the number. Brings me right back to not just maybe favorite films I've seen in the pirate vein, some recently, in fact. It's certainly, in regards to visualization and ambiance, I loved it. I'm thinking of that, The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Maybe it didn't get the recognition it deserved, certainly on scenery, just based on, I think, on how that movie performed financially, but it was an experience to take in. In the same respect that I applaud the visualization of this piece, I applaud that movie. It's a gorgeous film. Anywho, I forget filmmaker, I think it's like Andre or something like that. I forget his filmography too. There's another movie that he did that kind of speaks to that same expertise. I wish I could remember at the moment. I'll credit it in post. But, oh, it's a gorgeous film. Anywho, it brings me right back to favorite pirate pictures I've seen. Past experiences when I was a kid, whether it be that theater program with Treasure Island or one dance recital a number of years ago that was somewhat inventive. It was a story I think that my instructor had written up, and her family, I believe, but in a role of pirates. It brings me right back on scenery. It's an experience like Pirates 1 did. Even though I didn't credit it at the time. I think it maybe occurred to me later. Or maybe, no, I think it occurred to me now. But it's a gorgeous piece and a beautiful opener to adventures that we have yet to go down. Presently with Monsters, and later with the entirety of the album as far as I'm concerned for Pirates 2. There's no way I would miss enjoying this experience and reliving Pirates 1 in a new form with all of you. Especially with the score construction here, I love the roughened side to it, the power metal emphasis. You know, for me, I've been a metalhead of many years in symphonic metal. That is a preferred language on the more aggressive extreme. Though again, an open door policy to anything. And Visions of Atlantis plays around. It's an even harmony, I think, between melodic and power in this case. But there's a beautiful amplification and enhancement on the harder riffs that just is brilliantly it's a standout element with this one. And the vocals, especially on that end with Clementine, that rise. And Meek's performance as well with this one. Really good balance here, and we've seen again that the jumping between roles on Pirates and its predecessor Wanderers as well, but there's a good splicing between voices. And with Armada, I hear each voice clearly, even when they overlap. It's gorgeous. I love the chant pattern too. Beautiful key pick, timing, enhancement, score, vocals, everything clicks. It's an experience. It's quite a welcome entrance into a sophomore album that is going to be fun. I can't wait to adventure deeper into what was already teased, by the way, with really good cover art, but now in the first song having been humored, and me answering your queries as to when we're going to get to Pirates 2, finally. I can't wait any longer. It's going to be rewarding. I can't wait to hear more with you. And I'm sure, I don't want to speak for any of you, but I know that probably Armada compels the same level of adoration. I'd love to hear if that is the case down below and how you approach, whether you're a longtime fan or a newbie listener. Another opportunity to go presently with more on the way. I'm looking forward to getting into Monsters, but Armada, in my opinion, a beautiful tease of wonderful adventures to come that we have the privilege of taking together. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.